Hi guys, and welcome back to Pittsburgh Vader. In this video I'll be removing all the suede I put on the dash. Couple reasons. One, I did it wrong. I didn't put any foam underneath, and plus suede isn't stretchy enough to get over all these contours without lifting up, and the glue I used wasn't that strong, so it pretty much just comes up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this, and then, not in this video, but I'll be redoing it in a different material and doing it correctly. That way the finished product turns out the way I want it. And I'm also getting new vents because these vents are just a little small and they're not curved to the shape of the dash, so if you see, it sticks up a little bit. So I'm going to be getting rid of these vents and unwrapping this, and then I'll try to figure out what I'm going to do. I stopped the time lapse for a second to show you why you need to make sure you use the right glue. This stuff that I used, I'm pretty sure is just the Super 77. I'm using one hand here. It's a little hard on with the camera, but as you can see, it literally just peels right off. So definitely need a stronger glue, and I definitely need to use foam underneath. This is the foam. The foam actually stuck to the bottom better than the fabric did, so I have to start picking that stuff off. But I'm going to do the rest on time lapse and show you guys how it looks after. Okay, so we got all of the wrap off of the dashboard. I still have a little bit of foam left up here that I couldn't pick off with my fingers, so I'm just going to come at that and scrape it off later. And yeah, pretty much just picked off all the little stuff. So you can't really tell on camera, but the whole thing's still a little sticky from the glue. So I'm probably going to end up just sanding the whole thing down, get that excess glue off, and also help smooth everything out before I wrap it again. I still need to figure out exactly how I'm going to wrap it. I might use 4-way stretch, either vinyl or a leather to wrap it, or I might use the suede again, but this time I'll stitch it into the patterns I want and then stretch it over the way that you would do it if you had them pre-sewn. So I'm going to figure that out, do some research on it, and see what I end up doing. But for now, I'm just going to go order those vents that I wanted. You need 4 of them. They actually come from a Ford F-150. It comes with a curved one for here, and then 2 center ones that go here and here. They're about $150 if you buy them used online, so that's probably what I'm going to end up doing, find a good set of them, and then I can install those, get the holes cut for them, and then I can rewrap this the way I want. And I need this in the car before I mount the windshield, just so it's easier to get in and out. So I'm going to start working on this along with working on other stuff on the car to get it ready to be permanently bonded together. I'm trying to get this thing on the road pretty soon. It's not going to be done, but I hope to get it together to the point where it's street legal and I can get it registered and I can work on it and still be able to drive it around and stuff. Okay, so we clamped up the core support, trimmed down the last little pieces that needed to be trimmed, and we're working on finding the holes we need to cut out and getting it bolted up now. Once again, these holes I did before, completely wrong. I had to cut off stuff from the original core support. I have a video on that, so I can put the link to that in the description if you want to see what I messed up and then how I fixed it and all that. And this is where we actually put the holes, goes into these 2 bolt holes. We reuse those bolts. And then same kind of thing up here. These holes are wrong, and these holes are the ones we use with the other bolts. So I'll get that installed and show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so we got the first 4 bolts in, the ones on the front that you need. They just go here and here. We just drew the lines over and up to find the holes and basically just drilled it out and screwed it in. Did that on both sides. As you can see before, I had the completely wrong holes in the wrong location, and now we're good to go there. So next we're coming up here and drilling the holes for there. The two sides, just the way they're molded, are a little bit uneven. I think this one just wasn't trimmed as much as the other side, so there's more material here. I don't think that's a problem at all, so we're still just gonna go with it. And you're gonna see that the holes are much closer to the edge over there than here. That's not because it's crooked, it's just because at this side of the piece is different than that side. So we're gonna do that now, and we'll show you what it looks like when it's all on. Alright, so we've got it all bolted on. Bolts are down and tight. It's pretty sturdy, good to go. And I tossed one of the headlights. They're still wrapped. They came in a protective wrap, but I left them on just so I don't scratch up the headlights since I'm not installing them yet. But I kind of just set it in there to give you an idea what these headlights look like. And these come with the kit, in case you didn't know. They go on both sides. We have to rewire them and everything to get them hooked up to the Infinity. But basically that's what the headlights are going to look like on the car. We're not going to do that in this video because we have other stuff we need to do, but that's how they're going to look. Alright, so we actually moved along to the door. We got it situated in there. We had to sand down the edges a little bit just to get it to fit right. And I did that off camera because I really wasn't sure what I was doing, so I just kind of got it all to fit. We put it up here, and if you come around here to the hinge, you can see it all lines up perfectly. So we're gonna mark those holes, cut them out, and we're going to bolt it to the door. There's a metal plate in there, which we can put a nut on the other side and hold it together. And once that's done, we can take all the tape and stuff off, and we have a spacer in the bottom to hold it where it needs to be. Once we get that done, I'll take it off and show you the door and everything. Okay, so we lined the door up, we marked the side where we need to bolt this onto, and the way we're going to do it is I'm actually going to remove the hinge from the door, and we're going to mount this bracket onto where we marked on the side of the door off the car, and then we're going to put the whole thing back up, slide the pin in, and mount the door on the car. We're hoping that works. If not, we might have to figure out a new method to mount it and do it differently on the other side and just adjust this side. So we're gonna get that all done, and I'll show you guys how it looks. Okay, so we attached the side of the hinge with just two of the bolts. There's another that goes in the middle, but before we drill that hole, we're just gonna make sure that it fits over there. So we're gonna bring this over now and reattach the pin and see if it works. Alright, so we have the door on the car. We don't have any shocks installed, so it kind of just keeps going until the hinge runs out of movement. But once I put the shocks on, it'll be up like it normally should be. I have to get those installed still, obviously. But when it's down, here it comes down, and then it swings back in. And it's pretty close around the whole way. I have to adjust it a tiny little bit before I put the last bolt in, widen the holes a little bit. But overall, pretty happy with the results. Starting to come together a lot more, and there's just stuff coming together, and it's just really exciting to see everything. I got to get the other side on, obviously, and I got the front clip, or not, sorry, the front radiator support and headlight buckets. And after we get the doors mounted and the rest of the body bolted down, we'll be able to put the front clip on and the hood and all that kind of stuff. The only thing I'm waiting on is I couldn't find any rubber gas line locally, so I had to order that online. That should be here in the next couple of days. So once I get that on the car, I'll be able to bond the kit down and then get all this stuff permanently bonded together and then keep it going. That's it for this video. as always, thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next one.
What?